You have $100,000 gross income, 10,000 square feet. This is all the information they gave you, right? Or we can even try to do, okay, this is all the information we got. So we have a retail property, 10,000 square feet, $100,000 gross income. I can even try to argue, let's just try to do 10,000 a month gross. Let's talk about it. Who wants to come off mute and do this back of the napkin with me so that we can work this deal together, right? I want to understand your thought process of how we're going to evaluate this deal. We have a retail shopping center. We're going to do this for industrial. We're going to do this for multifamily as well. And we can start, we'll go over anybody else's deals as well who want us to underwrite some stuff. So who wants to talk about this deal real quick, back of the napkin? How would you underwrite this deal? If this is all the information you got, 123 Main Street, 10,000 square foot retail space, 10,000 a month gross income. It's got 5 tenants and they're all on short-term leases. This is all the information we know. What would we do?
So I guess we would start with expenses.
Okay, great. What would you estimate expenses to be?
35%.
Great. So what do you have here? So your NOI is what?
6,500.
Which equals, what is that, 72 a year? No,
78.
78 a year, right? Times 12, 78. Yeah. Okay, great. So 78K a year. Okay. What else would you do?
So, would you look at, cap rates based on its existing condition?
Okay.
Like the tenants that are.
Yeah, I want you to do this in the way, like, I'm not going to coach or guide through it. So I just want to have a better understanding of like what you would do here. Like this.
So I guess like off the top, I would say like, all right, if they're getting an NOI of 78,000 at a 10 cap, that would be $780,000.
Okay, great.
And give that as a starter offer.
Okay, amazing. So Chelsea is going to come over here and she's going to do, let's do 780. And you're going off of a 10% cap rate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does anybody else, would anybody, or is there anything else you want to add, or is there anybody else here?
Well, of course, they're short-term leases, so you could do like the pro formas.
Okay.
But I feel like that's, to me, it would, at the stage that I'm at, that wouldn't be back of a napkin. I guess I could like.
Let's do 2 different examples real quick, because I also want everyone to see this real fast, right? Chelsea, like you're a great leasing agent and you're diving into the sales world pretty heavily, which is awesome. You've had some good success. Let's say I want to give you 2 different examples so that you can really start thinking through this, okay? Let's do a town that you know really, really well, and then a town that you don't know well. What's a town that you know really, really well for retail leasing?
Jersey City.
Okay, great. So let's just say I'm going to do JC here, and then what's a town that you haven't, like you just would have no idea if you got a 10,000 square foot retail shopping center?
Middletown.
Great. All right, Middletown. Okay, cool. Okay, so watch this, right? So we're going to do quick numbers real fast, right? Like I can understand where you're coming from here. I think we can all follow that along. Now let's say for Jersey City, what do you think if we're doing back of the napkin numbers real quick?
Well, where I've been doing work in Jersey City, let's say $65 a square foot net.
65 a foot triple net. Okay, that's pretty damn great rent. Walk me through
This wouldn't really be a shopping center, so maybe Jersey City wasn't a good example because it's not a shopping center. It's like the base of an office building.
That's fine. 10,000 square foot. It could be a condoed out building. It doesn't really matter. Don't think about it that way, but that's fine. This is all just a BS example, but I want you to, it's more about the processing of how you're doing it.
Sure. So would 65 be the pro forma that I'm considering?
No, I'll walk you through it afterwards, but I want to hear your thoughts.
So 10,000 square feet times 65. So that's $650,000 a year minus the 35% in expenses. Okay. So it's $422,500 at a 10 cap, 4.2 million.
Okay, great. So JC, you're saying 4.2 million is your value. Cool. What about Middletown? What would you do differently?
Off the top, maybe it's like $25 a square foot net.
Great. Let's do the numbers.
So the 65 number, I took 35% expenses, but if it's a triple net lease, would it still be 35? Probably not.
Probably not.
So, there are still expenses that aren't always included in triple net. So like whether that's like a management fee.
Correct.
Or certain CapEx. Okay, just going to Middletown though, 25 times 10,000 is $250,000 a year. Now, with realizing that it's a triple net lease, like maybe I'll do a take 15% expenses.
Okay.
And that's $212,500 at a 10% cap rate. It's $2.125 million.
What are your starter offers? What's your valuation?
Well, I think Jersey City, I took off too many expenses, so
you can redo it if needed.
So 15% expenses on the Jersey City deal is $552,000 a year. At 10%, cap rate is $5.525 million.
Okay, so is that a starter offer or is that a value? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do the starter offer based on the pro forma. I
Yeah,
guess you could and just do it at a higher cap rate.
okay, so let's talk about it, right? So first and foremost, the way you're kind of coming up with pro forma value, the 15% with triple net rents, right? That I'm on board with. Okay,
Okay.
so like 15% with triple net rents for pro forma numbers, I'm in agreement. However, the one thing I would also stress to you is that for pro forma, you don't have to go off of 10% cap rates. Right,
Got
performa,
it.
it's like, again, now you want to go back to market, like
Seven.
6, 7, 7.5, like 7, 7.5, probably for most stuff. You're in Jersey City, 7, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7, 5.
Yeah.
So you could pay attention to that piece of it, right? So the way I look at these types of deals, first off, the way you did this, right, like just off of the current, right, like whenever we're going to make a starter offer, it's always off current. So you can ignore these two pieces down here as pro forma numbers, but just for quick back of the napkin, mentally your process was accurate, right? Like overall, like looking at what it could be rented for over a period of time in 5 years, depending on how long the leases go for, right? Short term is a very broad term. You're on the right track of where you're looking for pro forma numbers. Again, just make sure you tweak the cap rates on pro forma. But your starter offer, I think, was also accurate. I'd probably start at 780. Now, obviously, depending on the location, you can probably, like, if it was a Jersey City deal, and this thing could be worth $6 million,
Right.
like 650,000 at or whatever that comes to, right, guys? Like 650, which is 10,000 square feet times 65 a foot triple net. 650 times 0.85, 15% for expenses puts us at 552. 552 divided into a 7.5 cap to be conservative, $7.3 million. I probably wouldn't offer this guy 10 cents on the dollar unless like this person like really has absolutely no idea what this could be worth. So I maybe, in some instances where like, I know they're more of a savvier investor, I'm not going to offer 780. If it's a mom and pop and they have absolutely no idea, I might go a 780 number for sure. But they have no other real estate. But if it's a more sophisticated individual, I'll probably offer a 7 cap.
Right. On the current.
On current, like just because we know that like, holy cow, like there's a huge upside in this deal. I mean, like obviously not all circumstances are going to be all painted similar. I mean, more likely than not, it's probably going to be like the Middletown situation. Rarely is this person going to take probably 780 on a $7 million value.
Right. Yeah.
If we go down to the Middletown example, which is more of a suburb versus Jersey City being like a huge downtown right outside Manhattan. If you take Middletown, let's even do like $20 a foot. So like also the one thing for pro forma is that like, I mean, obviously I know Jersey City. If you don't know the area, in your mind, take 20% off the top. Like, and obviously, you know how to find leasing comps, but for those of you who don't, like, how would you go about finding leasing comps to figure out what pro forma numbers would be?
Like if you didn't have CoStar?
I was going to say you can go on CoStar.
Yeah.
But if you don't have CoStar, what else would you do?
Call up local brokers.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, 100%. Right? If you don't know the answer, it's totally normal, which, by the way, again, like my team sells real estate in areas that I've never fucking sold stuff in, right? Like we're prospecting in areas like I've never sold something in. So like I wouldn't know either, right? Like there's a lot of territories where like I need to do the same thing. I look on CoStar and I can also call local brokers. 100% in agreement. So now let's do it off of this one, the $20 triple net. For this one, what's the future value, right? 10,000 feet. $20 triple net. What's our pro forma? What would you actually think pro forma value is?
Oh, $200,000 a year. And then I would say 15% off. So 170,000 is the NOI. And then I would say Middletown's still a good area, but since it's just a starter offer, I would say an 8 cap, 2.125 million.
Okay, hold on. Let's write this down a little bit. So you're saying, again, just to make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from. You're saying that you're looking at pro forma value, 170 into an 8% cap rate puts you at 2.125, correct? That's where you're coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement 100%. So, this could be a very conservative 125 million at 8% cap, which is like, I think, a 170 NOI. This gives us for pro forma value, I'm in agreement 100%. The 15% for expenses on triple net, perfect. The 170 NOI is exactly what I would have come up with. And at an 8% cap rate, I also think is very positive on a very conservative resale number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would you start off the offer at?
So if, I was looking at the current state of the building and like,
it's all average. Nothing's amazing.
So if he's making $10,000 a month, so I guess like maybe $1 million.
At $1 million, right? I don't think is actually a terrible offer. Your 780 was also still good, right? Like But somewhere in that range, I think is fair, right? Like, I think you're right on the money to at least for a starter offer where, very conservative upside in 5 years, more likely than not, depending on the leases. I think you're right on the money. Somewhere between the 780 and $1 million is probably a pretty fair and reasonable number to come in and start with. And by the way, guys, if you is everyone understanding this quick back of the napkin? I feel like this is like this kind of stuff, like the real quick numbers and knowing the math of like what to look for is very, very crucial. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on it versus really doing a deep dive into the spreadsheets again, because this is the type of stuff that I want to get everyone so good at that you can do it on the fly with the individual on the phone. Like the second they are giving you this information, I want you guys to be able to do these types of numbers on a pad and paper next to you, or on a calculator, right? So that you guys can speak intelligently to these individuals around value very quickly. But Chelsea, numbers all here, very, very good, nice job. And again, 780 to $1 million is a pretty much a spot on number. The only thing I would ever err on the side of is expenses. Maybe you want to err on 40% versus 35. Other than that, I think everything is basically exactly as I would do it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.